I have another ornamentation technique for you. This one I don't know what to call. I call it old-time unison rocking or something to the effect. It's something I use a lot in old-time playing in particular, but I think I probably also use it in some other styles sometimes. And this is a combined technique using both fingers and bow. And here's what it sounds like. So that was the tune Sandy Boys. What I'm doing, I typically use it where in music you might see, printed music you might see 2 half notes. It takes up quite a bit of time. You might see the shuffle bows written to take up that space. You might have something a little more syncopated like this. So anytime that you have a long continuous note or a bunch of notes kind of filling up time from what could be an extended note is a good opportunity to use this, especially if what you're playing is the tonic or the note that the key of the piece names, the beginning of the scale. Don't need to get too deep into music theory here. So in the case of Sandy Boys, it's an A modal tune, and that A at the end is exactly the kind of note I'm talking about. So what I'm doing is I'm playing from the 3rd finger to the 4th finger on the D string. So I'm going from a 7th to a unison because I'm also playing on the A string. So you might want to check out the double stop video because that will help you to play the 2 strings at once if that's not something you're comfortable with. So I'm playing from 3 to 4, then putting more of my emphasis on the open A string. So I'm doing down, and then I'm going to do an up bow. And my up bow is going to rock from more emphasis on the D string to more emphasis on the A string. And sometimes this is more like playing double stops and I'm really on both strings and I'm just shifting the emphasis. And sometimes I'm really changing more from string to string. So it's down, up, down, up. And the emphasis is D string, A string, D, A string. Whoops, and I did the bowing backwards there. D string, A string, D, A. If that helps make it clearer with my fingers. So, and sometimes the rhythm is not so much like da 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 dum as da 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 dum da dum. So this is more, I call it that hammer on when I'm adding a finger. It's really just kind of grace note, but they call it a hammer on in mandolin, guitar, banjo world. So looking at that in context with Sandy Boys, here's the ending. And let's do that same part again. I only do this starting with the down bow. So it's important that you get your bow, whatever bowing you want to do for the rest of the tune, that you get your bow in a down bow place because it's just much harder to do it starting with an up bow. It's possible, but I never do it that way. I also sometimes drop my bow onto those notes. So you can do it on any string. I don't do that too often. I'd say I mostly do it with an E note or an A note, but there's no reason you can't do it with a D note. I think for me, using this technique probably comes from being in cross tuning. Actually, I won't go all the way into cross tuning because it'll take up all the video just to tune it. My pegs don't want to stay. So what I've done is brought my D string up to an E. In normal A cross tuning, I'd also bring my G string up to an A, but I'm not going to do that right now. In cross tuning, you can do this technique with your second and third fingers. Makes it a little easier.